There we go. This is the badge from Hackaday Supercon 2018. It has a very beefy speaker on the back and an entire visual screen on here, and a couple of batteries that have lasted surprisingly long. I'm really impressed actually with the amount of sound that this thing puts out. It's so good. It's like bigger than your regular sort of piezo buzzer thing. Fortunately, about halfway through the weekend, someone showed me how to reset this thing without yanking the batteries out. You got an RGB LED that's controllable. You've got this whole add-on connector here that slots in with a header over here and a plastic bolt and nut over here. There, yes. And then 3 spots for add-ons, which we'll get to in a second. And there was a whole badge contest. The weekend closed out actually with the awards for badge hacks that people had done, and there were an incredible number of cool ones. My favorite 3, I think, were, well, it's really hard to pick 3, but 3 that maybe didn't get as much love as they could have were Diego from D's Maker / Maker Muscle used his hydraulics kit to mount this to a hydraulic piston that shot a rubber band across the auditorium, and it is, to date, the first projectile badge hack that I have seen. Besides that, there was a really cool and beautiful 3D sine wave synthesizer, or visualizer. There were a bunch of actually really beautiful, speaking of synthesizers, I always have the music part on my brain. There were some really beautiful music hacks, because this thing can synthesize up to 3 voices at once. So you can also get the, if you type in Mario on here, you get and so actually at the start of the ceremony, Mike Schiss had the I assume that's how you say his name, had the entire auditorium trigger this at once, so you had a full room full of Marios, but you don't even need more than one to really hear it. Anyway, and then finally there was one where you connected this, since it's a keyboard, and it has little directional buttons and stuff, as a terminal for a Raspberry Pi that was strapped to the back, which was pretty cool, and it's kind of like, reminds me of the Twilio Signal Conference badge from this year, which was an entire Raspberry Pi 0W with no keyboard, but with a TFT touchscreen that was like yay big and a giant battery. So I think we're gonna see more badges that are just straight up computers. It seems like we're heading for like peak badge. That's gonna happen sometime soon. But stay tuned, there'll be lots more to talk about. Some other cool, beautiful PCB art things. The first night I was gifted this beautiful beating heart badge. One of the biggest things right now is illumination through the PCB. So things with LEDs on the back. These are reverse mount LEDs. So the LED part does not shine outward from the badge. It shines into the PCB substrate. In this case, I think it's FR4, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's got fiberglass in it. And it's motion sensitive, so you've got this little vibration motion sensor that just connects the circuit. It's so beautiful. And this is done by, his name is Nick Pissarro, I believe, and he goes by High Energy Beams. Let me pull up the page for you. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Oh yeah, here's the badge page for the Super Conference badge, actually. You can find that on Hackaday, of course. And we also have an article on our blog that sort of breaks down this whole thing for you. The end result was not red, it was black. I think the red is actually even cooler, but, you know, with a sort of uniform black color, that's pretty cool. Oh, I have to show the other thing, too. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay. I'll be back. But there's also like a bunch of stuff on our social media, our Twitter and Instagram, that shows some more beautiful and cool badge art. I got really excited about it. So here is the Lionheart badge, which you can purchase yourself or get either assembly or as a badge. And that's at grandinquisitor.github.io/Lionheart. I think there's also a short link, which is bit.ly/LionheartBadge. Next up, we have some cool PCB art from Bradley Gothrop, aka Tall, Dark, and Weirdo, who's been my friend on Twitter for some time, and we got to hang out a bit. He made this Gur badge from, oh my goodness, Johnny? Is it from Johnny? Invader Zim! There we go. And it's very adorable, and again has the reverse mount LEDs on the back. I don't actually have a CR2032 battery with me right now, or you could see, but his eyes light up and it's very cute. Again, you have some of this shine-through translucent LED effect, which has become huge. We also have a Cats from Good Evening, Gentlemen. You have no chance to survive. Make your time. All your base belong to us, etc. Very beautiful. And I love the color scheme. It's just gorgeous. Again, you have use of the Baird. What is the acronym they use? So it's like copper coated in gold, and there's a specific name for that for PCBs. But you get this beautiful gold color, and then a green and black. I think both of those are solder mask, unless one of them is silk screening. Anyway, you can find out and ask him yourself on Twitter. Again, that is Tall, Dark, and Weirdo. Next up, we have an amazing offering from Brian Benchoff. So he showed us how to do pad printing for these amazing KISS Tindy badges. So this is Tindy's little dog mascot, and they've been doing like various versions of it. The solder substrate itself is silver, and then you have black and white solder mask, I think. One of those may be silk screening, but it looks like it's both solder mask to me. And then this red, there's two little spots of red on here, which is why he thought that it was a great demo for pad printing, which he showed us how to do. And basically that involves this big foam squishy thing, sort of like half a foam ball, and there's a metal die on the base of the machine that does it. The die has very shallowly engraved shapes, in this case, the tongue and the lips of the two little KISS guys. And you scrape a thing across it that fills those two tiny shallow imprints with red ink, and then you scrape off anything that got around that. Then you lower the pad onto the plate with the ink, and then the machine moves it over, and you lower the pad and press it down onto your PCB or whatever it is that you're trying to print. And this is how apparently a lot of corporate like swag pens are made. And you just end up with a really quick drying application of color in very specific spots that are determined by that metal die that you created in the first step. Oh, in case you're wondering, this is an NFC reactive light up LED sticker for nails, and then I just 3D print pen some stuff on top of it. Hi, it's been a long weekend. Anyway, next up, there is a beautiful badge from Adafruit called the Hallow Wing, which you've probably seen all over their social media channels. If not, check it out. This is not actually a wing. It's a it's an entire feather, and I'm glad that they mentioned that, because I looked at it, I got really excited about this, and I was like, hey, look, it's got the feather form factor, and so do the new particle mesh boards. I could do something really cool with, like, mesh network badges, and I couldn't because it's actually an entire feather. But maybe, you know, we could do something with that in the future. And one of the coolest hacks that I saw with this was that someone put Wendell Oske from Evil Mad Scientist Labs, put two of them together, and on top of that put the little 8-bit sunglasses PCB add-on that we've seen around that I think goes with the Mr. Robot badge by Brian Benchoff. Anyway, over two of these little guys, and so you got this great little sort of like looking around skull effect. And he did network those two together with just wires. So props Wendell, that was an awesome hack. Next up, so Drew Festini of Osh Park gets really excited about all this stuff, and he's kind of a tastemaker. So in this case, he made a matrix, LED matrix add-on board for the for the shitty add-on standard. And actually, I think the original might have been designed by Andon Exor. Or rather, this proto board that he created the original one on was created by And and XOR, which is like a crew of awesome badge hackers. And you can find the proto board online, and that basically turns anything into a shitty add-on with this little 4-pin connector that does I2C and gives you 3.3 volts and ground, as well as data and clock pins. A lot of people just use the data and ground pin, or the 3.3 volts and ground pins, because that means that you can power some LEDs off of it or whatever. And that's actually exactly what I did with this companion cube that we'll get to later. But you know, they just like attach there. Boom. And he used this to adapt an Adafruit LED matrix and had a really cool little pumpkin visualization going on there. So after prototyping it on the proto board, Drew has also been giving out these little matrix to SAO adapter boards. So this is a really tiny and easy way to attach any kind of LED matrix to your con badge. Very cool. Next up, we had another SAO adapter. So this is actually for the Quick system from Zio.cc. Quick is a system that is supported by SparkFun, and it basically is a way of quickly connecting together things, sort of like Seed Grove kits, but not quite. And so they made an adapter for shitty add-on to Quick. And let's see, can you find this on their store somewhere? Requisite shitty LED goes here. Anyway, if you visit smartprototyping.com, you can find more out about that, or just Zio.cc. They also gave us a little IMU thingy that you can connect via the Quick system. But you pull up the website for that. Here's the Quick connection system on SparkFun. It's spelled all weird, so be sure that you get it right. It's QWIIC. So we're nearing the end of our little voyage together here this morning. In California, anyway, it's the morning. I'm really glad for the time change, by the way, that happened. That felt like a gift from the gods. So this is a shitty add-on that I created in advance of the con, also using this sort of like see-through, beautiful light technique. And it's based on the Portal Companion Cube. And so I wanted to share this because I've written a tutorial on how to design your own shitty add-on in KiCad. This is a one-sided one, but you could do multiple-sided ones or whatever. It's only one-sided because I wanted to mill it on a Bantam Tools desktop PCB milling machine. And so you can find the tutorial for that here on Hackster. Just search for KiCad or me or whatever. I think it's also one of the featured projects right now. But we go through like everything that it takes to do this. And I did notice, though, there's one important thing about this. You should probably make your traces pretty wide, because this happened to both me and Mohib, my friend to whom I gave the other one of these. The badge, obviously the SAO kind of wiggles on the badge, and it has to be very structurally sound. So basically what you want to do is either put you want to put some hot glue to stabilize the connector, because the pins straight up broke. This thing wiggles around, and the traces that connect to it have snapped. Anyway, it's hard to see, but up close it's just like tragic. And basically it means that the LED on the back that makes it do its pretty light up thing does not function anymore. But lest we end on a sad note, I want to show you some other cool stuff that is on our social media, because it didn't all get into the video. And one of my favorite shitty add-on mods was this one by Andrew Soa, who's one of the most prolific and cool artists, and from whom I learned a great deal about PCB art. And we have actually a tutorial from him on our YouTube page. But he created this fingernail to shitty add-on adapter, which does not provide power yet, but does allow you to attach any arbitrary shitty add-on, in this case the Hypnotode, to your finger. And I sort of assumed that maybe he had soldered first to the copper and then attached to his fingernail. Of course not. No, he attached the copper to his fingernail and then like very quickly added little dabs of solder. So like mad props in every sense of the word to Andy. Nice job, and we are so excited to see more stuff from you. check out Hackster.io on Instagram if you want to see more of the cool stuff. We saw some 3D printing by David Shorey, who does these really beautiful, he really popularized the 3D printing on fabric mesh thing that allows you to create some really flexible, literally and figuratively, designs. We also got to hang out a little bit with Darl and Josh from Crowd Supply, so you'll be seeing a lot more stuff from that experience as well as things that they'll be sending us. I'm so excited about this. And also Mohib Zara's wooden shitty add-on, which you can see enshrined now in the SAO Hall of Fame in the Supply Frame headquarters. It just hangs from the wall and it's this giant block of wood, which was created using sticky back copper foil, basically, on a Cricut cutting machine. And then, of course, there's a Disney one, the Maker Mouse Club, which is led by Bob, who is also known as, I think, it's something arcade on Twitter, but Instant Arcade. There we go. Unfortunately, it's cut off by the rolling shutter on here. So yeah, follow that for more of this excellence. We also got a beautiful kit for the Cyborg ring by, where is it? Here we are. By Zach Frieden, which is another piece of PCB art that you can wear every day because it's made with half-height PCBs and you solder them together cordwood style with these components. He ran out of the PCBs and I miss his workshop anyway, but he gave me the components so we can finally make it. I'm really excited because it runs on an @tiny, and that means I can program it to do one of my favorite hypothetical projects that I've never yet realized, which I'll finally get to. It's a willpower device that basically allows you to create a Green Lantern ring for yourself, so it's powered by willpower. Oh, I'm so excited! Also, from the Crowd Supply team, we've got a Zero phone made by Arsenis, and this is gonna be such a cool video. Plus, they made this. This was supposed to be a video about badges. I'm just getting really. Stay tuned for hacks with the Supply Frame Mystery Puzzle Cube. It has a pseudo-random number generator, a true random number generator, and a lot of secrets. And you can network them together, so we're going to be coming back with more of that. Okay, it was an awesome weekend. I'm really tired. I'm going to go get breakfast. Have a great Monday, a great week. And next week, and I will be in London at Abbey Road's first ever music hackathon. I'm really excited. We're going to play with Archimedes and this new chirp protocol. This video is getting way too long. I'm going to cut it off, but stay tuned. There's so much cool stuff to talk about, and I can't wait to share it. Ciao!